There's only one thing better than opening weekend in the NFL, and that's opening weekend at Acrisure Stadium. This Sunday, the Pittsburgh Steelers return home for the first time in the 2025 season after a thrilling but concerning 34-32 win over the New York Jets. The energy in the stadium will be electric. The fans? Loud, proud, and hungry for more. But if Pittsburgh's defense doesn't tighten up, particularly against the run, the celebration might be short-lived. Week may first have gone down as a win in the record books, but if we're being honest, it didn't feel like a typical steel curtain performance. The Jets ran wild, racking up 182 rushing yards, mostly thanks to Justin Fields' dual-threat ability and some tough running from Breece Hall. The defense looked vulnerable, and that's not a word Steelers fans like to associate with their team. Head coach Mike Tomlin isn't one to panic or overreact. But during Tuesday's press conference, he made it crystal clear. Changes are needed. When asked what he wanted to see from his run defense in Week 2, Tomlin didn't go on a long-winded speech or throw players under the bus. Instead, he offered one perfectly chosen word. I want us to be stouter. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't emotional. But it was everything it needed to be. Classic Tomlin. Direct, precise, and challenging. The Pittsburgh Steelers must bring their best run defense against the Seattle Seahawks. Not better, not dominant, just stouter. A subtle reminder that Pittsburgh's defense doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. They just need to get back to doing what they've always been known for, setting the tone physically, winning at the line of scrimmage, and making opposing running backs regret suiting up. That's especially important this week, with the Seattle Seahawks coming to town. Seattle brings a hard-nosed identity of their own, headlined by the backfield duo of Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet. Behind a physical and improving offensive line, both runners are capable of turning small holes into big plays, and if the Steelers' front doesn't bring their lunch pail, it could be a long afternoon. This isn't hyperbole. It's reality. If Pittsburgh wants to build momentum and stack wins early in the season, the run defense must improve, and fast. The offense did its job in Week 1, but expecting shootouts every week isn't a sustainable model, especially not with a veteran like Aaron Rodgers under center. Keeping him upright and out of comeback mode starts with keeping the opposing offense off the field. Tomlin's message was simple. Not harsh, not panicked, but serious. Be stouter. It's a challenge to his linemen, his linebackers, and his entire defensive unit. Play Pittsburgh football. Own the trenches. Reclaim the identity. Because while a win during the home opener is always sweet, a win with a dominant, physical defense. Now that would be even sweeter. The Pittsburgh Steelers are elevating cornerback James Pierre to the active roster. Pierre was initially on the practice squad, but was elevated for the team's game as the New York Jets to be a special teams presence. Pierre is with the Steelers for his 6th season with the team. In 2024, Pierre played in 15 games in 2024 after being signed early in the season to bring special teams experience to the team. All in all, he had 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles, and 23 tackles. He was in the top 10 in the NFL in special teams tackles. This signing gives the Steelers, along with Ben Skowronek, both of their starting gunners back on the team. Pierre played for the Steelers from 2020 to 2023, but signed a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders. After the Commanders released him, Pierre failed to find a new team and signed with the Steelers practice squad. An undrafted free agent out of Florida Atlantic in the 2020 NFL Draft, Pierre worked hard that year and made the team. He stuck around as a special teamer and reserve cornerback over the years. The Pittsburgh Steelers are operating under completely different standards entering the 2025 season. This historic NFL franchise has foregone tradition for tradition's sake in favor of bold decision-making. This year's roster is the perfect example, with general manager Omar Khan trading for DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, and Jonas Smith, and signing veterans like Aaron Rodgers, Juan Thornhill, and Jabril Peppers. The Steelers are all in on a Super Bowl in 2025, but there's one potential move that would be a bridge too far, even for this new-look team. That move is trading for Miami Dolphins wide receiver TYREEK Hill. This is the 2nd year that the Steelers and the speedy receiver have been connected. It makes plenty of sense. The Dolphins and Steelers are familiar trade partners, and they combined for the blockbuster deal of the summer when Miami sent Ramsey and Smith to Pittsburgh in exchange for safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. Tyreek Hill wants out of Miami, and the Dolphins want him gone even more, and a trade appears imminent, even if it's not with the Steelers. That's the million-dollar question for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Could they bring Hill in, afford his salary, and make him a happy and positive piece of their locker room? He's gained a not-so-great reputation over his NFL career, and that's carried over into his recent issues with the Dolphins. His off-the-field issues are a noisy distraction, one that many teams won't touch with a 40-foot pole. The Steelers counter with their solution to any potential issue: Mike Tomlin. The team's head coach played a significant role in recruiting Ramsey and Rodgers, two players who have also faced their own challenges in the NFL. Both of these veterans have come in and become instant leaders for the team. With that in mind, Tomlin might be willing to make some magic once again with another polarizing addition. More so than the locker room questions, the issue is where Hill fits in this offense. The Arthur Smith system lacks the capacity to support three talented route runners, which is exactly what would happen if the Steelers acquired Hill. The Steelers' offense scored 34 points against the Jets by spreading the ball around to multiple weapons. DK Metcalf was the most targeted receiver, but 5 players registered at least 3 receptions, and 7 caught at least 1 pass. Tyreek Hill is a volume receiver. Yes, he's an impeccable route runner, but he's put up his best numbers receiving over 120 targets. His unbelievable 2023 campaign, where he racked up 1,799 receiving yards, he was targeted 123 times. That's not a number the Steelers could guarantee in this offense. It would be a shock if Metcalf receives that many looks. After all, he's on pace for just under that mark if his Week 1 metrics were any indication. How then could the Steelers provide enough targets for both receivers? While Metcalf is used to a lower passing volume, Hill is not. This would cause a huge problem in the locker room and on the field, even if the Steelers disagreed. With all of this in mind, it makes zero sense for the Steelers to add Hill. Adding a wide receiver too is unnecessary after their Week 1 performance, and adding another superstar, one with questionable issues still to be dealt with, would be a bridge too far for these all-in Steelers.